Hello and welcome to Full Catalog. Continuing this series of reviewing every album by The Killers, we are at Day and Age, which I was much more eager to revisit than Battleborn. If anyone's worried from the last video, let me assure you that I have mostly positive things to say for the remaining albums. If you're new here, I rate albums on a 5-point scale, which I have displayed on screen now, and my structure is to discuss each track in chronological order, followed by my final rating. Let's kick it off with Losing Touch, which I find to be an excellent opening track. I love the chimes in the intro, then the horns entering the mix, the bass tone, and just the mix in general sounds impeccable here as well. The vocals on Console Me in My Darkest Hour have such an interesting and memorable melody. I love the lyrics here from Brandon and across the album. The song has so much variety in its runtime that it feels so perfectly paced and dynamic. You don't feel the weight of the main hook not being introduced until the 2-minute mark because everything leading up to it is equally interesting. That guitar solo is the cherry on top. Getting into track 2, Human, this song also has an incredible mix. The synth pulses underneath that kind of echo delay guitar riff and the 4-on-the-floor beat make this the perfect dancing song, as the lyrics question. The hook is simple but memorable, and this song so perfectly captures the aesthetic of Day and Age, something I'll mention here a lot, making it the opposite experience of Battleborn in my mind. I love the outro of this song more than any moment prior. That synth gets me every time. Spaceman continues an impeccable run of 3 songs to kick this album off. I love the dancey energy that the first half of this album has, and Spaceman is maybe the most fun track on the album, and a very worthy single. I've always felt that this song was kind of the bridge between Sam's Town and the sound that Day and Age would be going for overall. Joyride has a very unique vibe. Again, this song perfectly fits the aesthetic of the album, and when I say aesthetic here, I mean just the overall kind of cohesion musically, as well as the album art and the song titles, just like the whole package and what it makes you visualize. That's kind of what I'm referring to. The percussion in this song adds to that desert imagery a lot, and I like the use of the saxophone, which I'm glad it is used very intentionally and sparingly. A Dustland Fairy Tale is quite possibly the quintessential power ballad in their catalog. This song is such a beautiful tribute to Brandon's parents. This is an incredible track lyrically and musically. Some of the best melodies ever sung by Flowers are in this track. The build with piano, then adding in the strings, and then the full band is just impeccable, and the second chorus around 145 gives me chills to this day. The bridge is also phenomenal, and I've always really loved the transition out of it around the 240 mark instrumentally. This Is Your Life kicks off one of the most experimental runs of songs in the Killers catalog. The minute those interesting vocals kick this song off, you know you're in for a treat. The instrumentals are rather simplistic, with the drums being very snare-driven for sections of the song, and a rhythmic strumming on the guitar and bass with this kind of continuous triplet pattern. I love the bridge once again in this track and the vocal delivery of Something Better. Continuing the streak of experimentation that paid off very well, I Can't Stay almost sounds like something that would be written by the Crustacean Band from Disney's The Little Mermaid, more than something the Killers would write. And yet I love it so much. It just has a magical quality to it, and it sounds so unlike anything else in their discography. I have to admit that I find Neon Tiger to be the weakest track on Day and Age, but that doesn't mean I skip or dislike it. I've never found the hook to be very compelling, but I would be remiss not to mention the bridge of this song, which is by far the highlight, and the section that keeps me coming back to a song I otherwise probably would not love. The World We Live In. If I end up ranking every song by The Killers once I finish the album reviews, this is one you will certainly see in the top 10, without a doubt. This song is just perfect to me in every way. I love the atmosphere of it. The verses are groovy and have you bopping your head. You have some awesome instrumentation in the pre chorus with the horns and tremolo guitar chords, and then one of my favorite choruses in their whole catalog. This just feels like so much more than a song, which is the highest compliment I can give it. It's a masterpiece, and when I close my eyes and picture the album art or overall aesthetic of Day and Age, this is what I associate with it. I hear this song in my head whenever I think about this album at all. It's one of their most cinematic songs ever. Closing things out with Good Night Travel Well, it was actually today that I realized Day and Age does not actually end on Tidal Wave, and that it is in fact a bonus track. I never put this together because on Apple Music, there's no indication to that being the case. This actually caused me to reevaluate Good Night Travel Well, and if anything, increased my estimation of this song. I thought for the longest time it was an odd choice for a penultimate track, but now that I know it's the true closer, I'm able to appreciate it a lot more. It really continues the cinematic nature of songs like A Dustland Fairy Tale and The World We Live In. The horns sound so ominous here, and the percussion feels like a ticking clock, telling us our time with this album is almost at an end. The build into the final 2 minutes of this track is such a fitting end to the journey this album takes us on. In those final sustained string notes, you can almost feel the desert sun rising again over that mosaic landscape. Thank you for watching, and I have a controversial statement to close with, which is that if you put Hot Fuss and Day and Age in front of me, I'm picking Day and Age anytime. I'm going to give this record a 4 out of 5. I love this album and find it to be perhaps the most underrated in the Killers' discography. Thanks for tuning in. Next, we will be reviewing Sam's Town.